Hello everyone, and welcome back to In the Greenhouse, our relaxing little Q&A rambling series where I settle in and answer some of the questions that you guys have left in previous video comments. Look at that gray bug, I want him! Oh, we got him! Alright, so who was that? We managed to snag a pretty cool looking bug there. I love all of these bug jars, aren't they just the best? Alright, and that was a gray beetle type thing. That was an uncommon hiding beetle, and we caught him and sold him for a little bit of extra money, which is absolutely wonderful. So for those of you guys who don't know what's going on here, this is just a very relaxing rambling series that I do here in Plant Tycoon, where it's basically a Q&A series. You guys ask me questions, I provide the answers, and we relax in one of my favorite games of all time, Plant Tycoon, a very old game where you crossbreed different plants, you discover new plant varieties, you sell them here at your beautiful nursery, you upgrade your nursery with all sorts of awesome supplies, you can buy extinct imported seeds, and you upgrade your soil and your water and all of the little bug nets so that you can catch things, and basically it's the perfect game for me and I absolutely love it. And the only problem is I tend to kill some of my plants. Oh no! Oh, it did produce some seeds for me though. Thank you, little one. Thank you. Even though you died. These guys died because I don't have fancy enough soil and water just yet. So they won't be able to make it until, let's go ahead and move the more delicate ones. These guys won't be able to make it until I can get like some better quality soil to help them survive. So we're going to tuck them out of the way so that we don't accidentally kill them yet again. All right, come over here, you, and we'll do some crossbreeding with some of these plants. And we have a citrus maple, so that's an interesting little newbie. So I might try playing with him, blue star lemon bush. But yes, so I get a little distracted by the plants in this series, but primarily it's a way to grow as a community, for you guys to get to know me a little bit better, and for me to get to know you. I love it when you guys provide some of the answers that you would have for the questions in the comments, because it's really fun to feel our community grow and to get to know you guys, so it's not just me talking about myself all the time. I love hearing about you guys. I love hearing about your happiness. I love hearing about your perspectives on life. I love hearing about the struggles and the triumphs of things that you're going through. And that's why I do this. That's why we have our community. All right. And I don't think, oh, it's a little rose bamboo. Wow. And it's worth quite a bit, but I don't think it's going to survive very long. I'll see if I can get some purebred seeds from it first. All right. We're going to trim that. I have no idea what this is going to grow into, but it's worth quite a bit. So let's go ahead and plant a couple of them. Cross our fingers that these seeds survive. In you go, in you go. And then any other seeds? Is this a purebred strain? This is a purebred strain. I've got plenty of these seeds, so I don't need to worry too much. These are very beautiful plants. They're very popular. So I'm going to actually ramp the price up a little bit. Ha 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 ha. Let's see if they'll sell for that price, my friends. Then we'll sell you. I can go ahead and probably sell this one, no problem. And who do I want to crossbreed you with? Maybe this blue star lemon bush. Yes, let's do that. All right, and yes, I apologize if I get a little bit distracted at first setting all of the plants up, but we are going to be diving into your guys' awesome questions in just a moment here. And there we go. And there we go. Okay, now Siri's going to pay attention. All right, so thank you guys so much. As you know, I'm currently sitting in the office that we have, that's usually Chips's office, but we have a fold-out table, some cardboard boxes, some pillows in here, and this is where my recording setup is set up until we finish our move to Michigan, which is happening this week. And we actually moved all of our stuff ahead of time, as you guys know, in pods, U-box pods. We moved them ahead of time to Michigan, and we're going to go join them on the 1st. So I thought it was the 31st, but we're actually leaving the morning of the 1st. We'll be there that night, and we'll be opening up a new stage of our lives, new adventures there. And it's super exciting, and it usually could be really scary because I'm actually a very anxious person, or at least I used to be. I honestly don't know if I could call myself super anxious anymore because I'm very laid back and take things pretty easy now. But normally, like something like leaving a place I've lived at for a year and moving to a new place, which I've done, I've moved every year of my life for the last 8 years, but it still usually makes me very anxious, makes me feel really out of sorts. And honestly, being able to sit down every morning and just focus on recording and building up our community and being able to relax and answer some of your questions has helped me so much, because it reminds me that I have that community that's going to travel with me everywhere in the world I go. When I travel internationally, you guys will be there for me and I'll be there for you. And it's just the best feeling in the world. And I think it's just so beautiful and unique and just something about the internet and modern life that I adore. So there's that, because you always hear those really annoying little sayings like people should look up from their phones more often and pay attention to the world around them. I guess nobody wants to buy them for that price. Okay, well, I'll lower the price then. I thought they were worth that much. Fine, be that way, you guys. All right, well, I'll ramp it up a little bit. There we go. But yeah, you always hear people talk about how, like, why aren't people looking up from their phones? They're so obsessed with what they're looking at online. They're missing out on the real world. And I don't feel like that at all. I feel like I am able to understand the world around me more because of the things I find online. I'm able to understand the plants, the animals. I'm able to look stuff up. If I see a bird I don't recognize, 2 seconds on All About Birds of typing in North Carolina bird with odd red rump, and I know what bird species it is. I can look up its calls. If I hear a bird call I don't recognize, I can look that up. If I want to figure out someplace to go to enjoy a really great vegan meal, online helps me with that. If I'm having a really anxious moment, like out in a public place, like sitting, like for instance, sometimes in the grocery store line, you feel a little bit claustrophobic and there's people everywhere. And I can pull out my phone and check on my tiny towers, my little app game Tiny Tower, and it makes me feel calm and it helps me breathe. Or when I'm traveling and I feel really disconnected and sort of like, where the heck am I? And overwhelmed, I can pull up my YouTube comments and I can see my community. I can see everybody that's being friendly to each other. I can see people who are connected worldwide through the videos I put up, and it's that online sense of community and home that makes me feel like no matter where I go, I'm okay. So yeah, I think that's absolutely ridiculous when people are like, oh, everyone's so like not paying attention to the people around them. And I actually think it's beautiful to think about the fact that my parents live on the other side of the country from where I do, but I don't feel like desperately like I miss them so much, because I can just get onto Facebook and say, hey, good morning, Dad, and send them a picture of whatever I'm looking at that second. And I feel like that kind of connection, can you imagine 100 years ago what people would have paid, what people would have desperately wanted to be able to connect with people that they loved like that when they lived on the other side of the planet? I mean, this is magical. This really is, being able to communicate with somebody at the click of a button who's somewhere hundreds of miles away from you. And there's people who want to sit there and tell you that because you aren't talking to a stranger on the bus, you're not connecting with the world. I just think that's ridiculous, because it just completely doesn't pay attention to the stunning, amazing thing that is happening with the fact that we can communicate worldwide instantly now. But anyway, that's a different tangent. Then that's just kind of me getting caught up thinking about. And the other thing is, like, I get behind my phone all of the time too to take pictures, and I engage more with the world by taking a picture of something. I mean, there's people who will be like, you're so focused on pictures, you're not experiencing the moment. I'm experiencing the moment 100 times more because I am looking at it in a new way by taking pictures of it. And I'm maybe trying to get closer or go closer to places that I would just kind of glance at and be like, that's cool, and keep moving. When I stop to take a picture of a little plant or a flower or a duck or a lake or something like that, I experience it on a deeper level. So don't let people get you down, guys. Also, fine, everybody, fine. Don't want my beautiful plants for expensive prices. Come here, little zebra bug. At least I can sell you for expensive prices. You appreciate me, don't you? All right, well, we'll take care of these. So there's a really random ramble about why I think that's utterly ridiculous. And I think that anything that allows you to feel like you can experience the world on a new level, anything that gives you the confidence and the ability to feel like you can engage with others, even if those others are super far away, go for it. Don't you dare let people like ridicule you or tell you you're doing it wrong. Any way that makes you feel inspired and makes you feel like you're part of the world and is not being like some horrible, awful, like clearly don't do something terrible and illegal, but you know, anything that lets you feel more comfortable and engaged in the world and like you want to go out and experience it more, go for it. That's why I always encourage people through the stories of like when I was super, super anxious when I was younger. and I went on walks and took pictures of flowers. That's what helped me get over it. I encourage people, if you feel too anxious to go outside because people might be looking at you, then go outside as a photographer and focus on the pictures you're taking. And if you hyper focus on those things instead of focusing on like the people, it can put a bit of a buffer between you in a good way, because maybe some people are socially anxious enough where they need to feel like they have that buffer and they don't want that immediate connection to the stranger sitting next to them on a bench. They want a bit of a buffer, and being behind the camera can let you have that buffer and kind of enter the world gradually at the pace you feel comfortable with. So huzzah to the buffers. Like they aren't a bad thing. If they let you engage in the world, or it let you like communicate with your family when you're super far away, or share like, hey, I'm at Niagara Falls, and you're taking a picture and sharing it with your parents who are in Oregon or something. That's amazing. That's wonderful. I highly recommend it. But anyway, I don't even know where that came from, but I got on a very odd tangent. My apologies. And I'm actually going to answer some questions properly this time. So Nicole Mild asked, if you could do anything other than YouTube, what career would you pursue? And I talked about this extensively in the past too, but I would definitely want to pick something where I could teach people about the natural world. That is the root core passion of why I love doing YouTube. And that is the root core passion of really what I love doing in life, is grabbing random strangers on the street being like, do you see that duck? I watched that duck grow up. Did you know ducks incubate their eggs for X number of days and only the female takes care of the babies? Like, I would love teaching people about the natural world. I used to do that. A lot of people are surprised when they hear that, yeah, Seri hasn't always been a YouTuber. In fact, I was a teacher. I did teach. That is something that I did. I taught elementary school students at a hands-on nature research center, or a nature center. How to explain it? It taught children about ecology and sciences, and it was a hands-on facility, nonprofit group that taught children about science, basically. And it was really, really wonderful, and I loved it. So I was a teacher. I stood in front of like a classroom of often 3rd to 5th graders and taught 20 kids at a time during the course of a day. Like I had about maybe anywhere from 3 to 5 hours with them, and I would teach them about cave ecology. That was my specialty that they put me in, and I loved it. So I would want to do that again. That was honestly my ideal career, and they did want to make me a full-time teacher, and then I had to move away, and it was sad, but it led into becoming a YouTuber. So it would be that again. And like I talked about last time, I'm actually thinking about going back to school after Chips knows where he's going. Like when he snags tenure, I'm willing to focus on YouTube for the next 8 years. And when he finds somewhere that he's going to have his career at, then I am interested in, if YouTube's still around, continuing at that clearly, but also going and finishing up my biology degree. And this time possibly focusing on birds, because I do have a huge passion in birds. So probably bird ecology, ornithology, maybe ecology. As a discipline, because I do love ecology, but I do want to teach. I love teaching. I love teaching at nonprofits, especially because the people who show up at those places actually want to learn. So there's that. And then Nicole also asks, how many of the Warrior Cats books have you read, including the ones you are currently reading? What was your favorite so far? And honestly, my favorites are the ones with Leaf Pool, because she's one of my favorite characters, and I think that people are too quick to like write her off. And I have read all of the series up until the last book in the last series. Like, we're not talking about the origins, but all of the series, I've read all of them. And I've been on the last book for 3 months now because I don't want to finish it. So the final battle of the Dark Forest, not to put too many spoilers out there, is coming. And I just don't want to read it because then the book series will be over. So I haven't finished it. I'm really bad about that. So I'm trying to finish it, but then it's going to be over. And then I also actually don't want it to influence my Warrior Cat series too much. So now that I kind of know the basic rules, the basic layouts, the kind of themes and things that show up in the main series, I've just been focusing on my series and trying to make it the best I possibly can. So I really love my series, and I think that's why I stopped reading the books, because I did, this plant died, it's dead, it's onion rings, it's toasty doasty. All right, we're going to get rid of it now. So I think that's why I stopped reading the books. Ironically, it's because I didn't want to overly influence the things that I was writing with what's actually in the books, because I want my stories to be not copies. I want to stand on my own feet with them, and I want to be able to make my own idea of what I think the Warrior Cat series could be come to life. So that's what I'm working on. What's this turn into? Who knows? We're going to plant it. And let's see, we'll just put this little guy over here. I think that's enough of those seeds. Now we've got some interesting seeds over here. We're turning the plants and the seeds over now, you guys. What should we buy next? Let's check that out. Possibly, yeah, we'll get $650 to get this special filtered water. And I think that's going to make a huge difference in the health of our plants. So yeah, I haven't finished the Warrior Cat series because I don't want to overly influence my series, and I really love my series, and it's really, really freaking me out a little bit to read like on forums that I'll accidentally end up on. Like, oh, have you seen series Warrior Cat series? Like, people recognize the characters, and I'm like, oh boy, this is intimidating, because the books have the benefit of being able to be a thought out plot and being able to be worked on and edited before they come up in final form. And with my series, everything changes because it's an organic series where the game and the random generators determine where I go. And it's very intimidating because that means that I won't have as much plot cohesion as an actual book series would. So I don't want to compare my series to the book series because they're not a book. They're a gameplay series, and things won't have, they possibly won't have as much resolution as a book would offer you. So I'm a little nervous about that. And that's kind of why I stopped reading the books, because I figured, oh boy, there's no way I can make my Warrior Cat series kind of like the book series, because it can't be written the way a book can. The characters and the plots and the things that happen are determined by the gameplay and random generators and some ideas that I come up with. They're not determined by all of the ideas, like all of the plots I can control behind the scenes. So I stopped reading it so I can try to get a good idea of how to guide my series as a result. And that was probably pretty rambly. It's difficult to explain all of the thought processes that go on behind each series, but hopefully that'll give you guys some insight into why I stopped reading the books, because I don't want to make you guys think I'm trying to like make my own Warrior Cats books, because this is gameplay. It's organic. It goes wherever it wants, and it may not be as tightly written. It may not be as coherent as the books are, and I'm intimidated by that comparison. But I'm gonna do my best. I may be intimidated, but I'm just gonna rise to the challenge and try to find a way where Sims being as random as throwing meteors at me and having kits off time and having kits on their own, somehow I'll have to just weave a story together for that, and that's my expertise and my favorite thing to do, so I'll do my best. All right, and then Nicole also asked, what type of a keeper at a zoo would you be? And I believe it would be birds. A long time ago, I would have said big cats, hands down, especially after I volunteered at the Big Cat Sanctuary in Missouri. But I think it would be birds now. I love the diversity of birds. I love their personality. I love their behaviors. I love the different sizes and shapes and colors they come in. So I would definitely study birds. And then the last question from Nicole, I would definitely be a bird keeper, I mean to say. And last question from Nicole is, what is your favorite type of candy? And that one's a mahalo bar. Mahalo bars. I was actually thinking about that while I was recording WolfQuest about half an hour ago, how much I wanted a mahalo bar. What is a mahalo bar? They're basically an organic vegan almond joy. That's what they are. So I'm going to ask Chips if we can go to Whole Foods later and I can buy some mahalo bars and we can just snack on those during our week of camping here in our old apartment. And then we can snack on them on our drive up to Michigan. So I don't know why. I actually don't like chocolate and I don't like sweets, but all of a sudden I'm just craving a mahalo bar. And it may be because mahalo means thank you in Hawaiian. And so I think that's kind of fun, because anything that kind of gives me a snippet of Hawaiian-ness makes me excited, since I am Hawaiian, and there's very few things that pop up in culture that are related to Hawaii when you live on the East Coast. Ironically, my parents may be moving to Hawaii, so we'll have to keep tabs on that. Definitely watch the vlog channel for more major news about that, because that's life-changing news. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But normally, if I'm going to eat candy, I actually prefer things like gummies. I love Annie's bunny gummies. They're vegan and they're delicious, and I love fruit flavors. So Annie's bunny gummies, berry patch, and strawberries are my favorite flavors, and I usually eat those all the time. Yay, my little plants are selling! It's not for a lot, but at least it's progress. All right, and then I have some questions from Happy Pumtato, which is an adorable name, and they asked their questions with adorable little emoji flowers, and it made me super happy. So we've got some really interesting ones. Have you ever tried cow beet and sugar beet, such as chard? If so, which one do you prefer? And I actually have not tried. I have never heard of a cow beet. I know of sugar beets. Oh yay! All of our plants sold. We're making the money now. Look at us go, guys. Look at us go. All right, we'll plant all of these guys and see what they turn into. But yeah, I've actually never heard of cow beet, so I'm kind of curious now because I do have a passion for heirloom vegetables and flowers and things like that. I really, really love heirloom stuff. I actually want to start learning how to code for Minecraft. So for my farming side series I want to actually get like a bunch of unique crops that I can make that would actually be like heirloom plants, basically. So you could have your own little heirloom varieties, like the rainbow corn. Have you guys ever heard about that rainbow corn? I think it's so cool. It looks like little rainbow gems. Really, really cool. Oh gosh, those aren't going to sell for very much, so I'm just going to sell theirs. There we go. There we go. Well, actually, what the heck? The plant sells for a lot. What were you doing, seed? Tricking me? Just got rid of a bunch of good seeds. All right, we'll put all these guys in the ground and see what they turn into and sell this guy. And actually, if I can get... Oh no, it had flowers on it. I didn't think that one had flowers. Phooey. If you can trim the plants so that the flowers show more, they sell for more. But I messed that one up, so whoops-a-dopes. Ah, dear. But yeah, I love heirloom plants, so I'll definitely look into what a cow beet is. And sugar beets, you know, Chips actually hates beets, and I think beets are really yummy when they're roasted. I love roasted vegetables. So after we move to Ann Arbor, I plan on buying a bunch of parchment bags and roasting vegetables pretty regularly. I like putting beets and onions and like zucchini and carrots and potatoes just in a bag together, and if you just let them roast like with some seasoning and their own juices in the oven for a while, it's amazing. Put that on top of a bed of quinoa and boom, you got one of my favorite meals. So I plan on doing that because that's also a very healthy meal. It's got a lot of great stuff in it, lots of good fiber, lots of good healthy things for you, and it might be very low in calories, so that'll help me out between that and all the walking I plan on doing. I just found out that there is a place where I can go to pet goats that's going to be within walking distance of my house, downtown no less, a downtown garden shop where there's apparently goats and miniature donkeys and a cat named Lewis that you can go pet. So I'm going to be walking all over the place. So I think between good food to balance out all of the like vegan French toast and bakery treats we're going to be eating and walking, hopefully I'll be able to maintain or at least begin a really, really, really healthy lifestyle. So we'll have to see about that. All right, lemon bush. I think I'm just gonna have to start crossbreeding plants at random and seeing what they turn into. Do I want to sell you? Maybe I'll sell you. Maybe. Oh, can I buy the new? Oh, I'm so close. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sell these guys because I am so close to being able to get the fancy water, and that's gonna change everything. So we're gonna go ahead and try selling these little ones. Come here, little ones. Sell. But yeah, so that's kind of a tangent about beets and my love of roasted vegetables and the fact that the places you can go to buy roasted vegetables, like the local little plant nurseries, actually have goats that I can walk to from my new house in Michigan, and I plan on visiting them quite often and doing awesome vlogs about them. And I do love heirloom seeds, so that tangent leads into wanting to create lots of different heirloom seed varieties to grow in Minecraft for my side series and hopefully be able to share with you guys one day. All right, and then what is your favorite kind of video to make? Honestly, I love these rambling videos. They're really fun. Sometimes I feel like I ramble too much, and I've actually deleted tons of them before because I'm like, that was too rambly, Seri, you make no sense. I love the rambling videos. I love doing birdseed diaries. I love doing Minecraft. I really love doing almost all of our series immensely. I won't really keep up with the series that I'm not truly enjoying. Like Life as a Cougar is like, it's okay, but the game it's not my favorite kind of game. It's not really done in a manner that I enjoy a lot, but I'm willing to play it out through like at least one let's play of it. So I don't really force myself to make any videos I don't like, and I pretty much love making anything that I do. You can tell how much I love something by how frequently it pops up usually, or if it's a special event it pops up a lot, like Wolf Quest. And then how much time does it take to make videos? I usually spend anywhere, and I have spent, so here's an interesting story. Each video that's about 20 minutes if it's Minecraft, it takes about 20 minutes to record. It takes about 25 minutes to process, like to edit and process. For stage 1, stage 2, that's another 20 minutes. So now you're up to about like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and then uploading and then tweaking. Okay, so each 20-minute Minecraft video can take upward of like 2.5, 3 hours to make. And that's pretty fast for some people. And then that's talking about from like making it, editing it, processing it, uploading it. That's how long it can take me. So yeah, each 20-minute video is about 2 to 3 hours of work behind the scenes for those kinds of things. For other videos like Warrior Cats, each Warrior Cats video, each like 30 to 40 minute Warrior Cat video takes me anywhere from 4 to 7 hours to make because of the writing and the scripting and the scene cutting and the doing that I do behind the scenes. So usually I record videos for anywhere from 8 to 14 hours a day. I'm working on YouTube from 8 to 14 hours a day to get where I'm at. The last week that's been thrown out the window, and I'm going to tell you guys a super secret story. So over the last week, I took a huge plunge, and I just kind of had to throw things out the window when it comes to recording YouTube on the regular schedule that I do. Sorry, I had to have a sip of water. And I think that a regularly scheduled series on channels is what makes a healthy channel. People like regularity, they like their content showing up all the time. They get attached to stuff that shows up more often. And I really think I need to work that much. But you guys, over the last week, I haven't been working as much. And so there's been a lot of downtime because Chips and I have just been like packing together and spending time together. And it hit me one day when I turned and saw him doing something kind of random. And I was like, oh, I don't get to see this very much because I'm always working. I don't get to see his random laughter in these goofy moments. Or when we both look at each other and we're a little bored, we're like, hey, let's go on a walk. And suddenly we're walking around the lake and like looking at ducks. I don't really get to see that side of life with the man I love with all of my heart because I'm always working. And so I have resolved after we move, I'm going to be extremely disciplined and diligent and focused every morning. He is usually asleep all morning because he stays up all night. And the flip side is I go to bed early and then I'm up all morning. And it works out really great for a relationship. But I am going to really commit myself to trying to do all of the work that normally takes me 14 hours in like a crunch down 4 to 6 hour frame time early in the morning with smatterings of it throughout the day, depending on the way the day goes. But I want to be able just to like follow him to campus when he goes to class some days and just sit around campus reading a book to open myself up to the opportunity of being able to wander around downtown with him, of being able just to sit next to each other quietly in the library reading. And it's really hard for my workaholic nature to wrap my head around that idea because my workaholic self says that's a waste of time. You could be at home if you're just going to sit there waiting for him to get out of class, flipping through a book and staring at random people because you're just waiting. Why not just stay home and you could record 4, 5, 6 videos in that time frame? And then I think about his smile. And I think about the way I realized the other day, honestly, what I want most out of life is hearing him laugh more. I want to be able to hear his laugh. I want to see his goofy smile. I want to hear that chuckle he does when I've just done something completely silly and goofy and he just does this like exasperated chuckle. And I know right after that chuckle, I'm about to get a hug. I want that. So that's why it takes me about 14 hours a day right now to have gotten my channel to the point that it's at. And I'm so grateful and so immensely overwhelmed and touched by where it is. But man, you guys, am I ever going to want to focus and become like a really disciplined Seri once we move and I have my office and I can sit down and do work every morning? Because I want to start living the kind of life where I can just stand up and walk towards him and be like, hey, let's go get some pho. Hey, let's go see what the vegan bakery has today. Hey, let's just go sit on the back deck and throw out bird seed and see if a chipmunk shows up for a couple hours. And a workaholic self says that's a waste of time. The sense of obligation I have to the community says, oh, but you could be replying to fan emails during that time. And I think that the thing is, you should find those things that are most important to you in life And being able to sit next to him and hold his hand and just stare and be bored together at watching the trees sometimes, I think that's really, really important. I think that's the most important thing. So that's why, like, a random story, and you never know what will happen if you ask me questions, what amazing unrelated answers you will get, so feel free to ask many questions. That's why right now it takes about 14 hours to make a video, and after we move, it's not going to take that long anymore, or not a video, but like all of the videos I work on every day. And after we move, even if it means I have to put out a little bit less, but that's not my goal, I want to put out just as much, if not more, I don't want to do that anymore. Because I think, I always think he'll interrupt me if he wants some time, but if it was me, I wouldn't feel comfortable interrupting him while he was working on his important work. So maybe all these months that have gone by, maybe he's been a little lonely and I didn't realize it. And that's why I don't want to be a workaholic anymore. That's why I want to get stuff done in the morning. And I want to just have my office door thrown open and be sprawled across my office chair. And he glances and I'm like, hey, you want to go get a cupcake? And we can just go do that together. Because I feel like that's the point of being alive in this journey together. And that's also why I'm really happy to work on the vlog channel, because it makes my workaholic self feel a little bit calmer. If I go, well, I'm not going to get much done with recording games today, but I can go pet a goat and I can vlog about it. And it helps the panicked workaholic calm down a little bit. So there's that. And maybe it comes back to that conversation we were having at the beginning of this rambling episode about how there is criticism for living behind your camera, and what does it mean if Seri feels like she can only justify walking with her boyfriend and petting goats if she has a vlog about it. There's some questions to be answered there, but it's also kind of like the nature of my job. So there's that too. All right, well, that was pretty random, and I kind of went off into all sorts of interesting tangents. So thank you, Happy Potato. And really quickly, because I've just been rambling way too much, I'm going to answer very quickly the rest of the questions that she asks. What is your favorite type of turtle? I don't really have one. I would maybe say sea turtle because they're kind of interesting. I think leatherback because they're huge. They're huge and they're like looking at a dinosaur. So I really do like leatherback turtles the best, I think. And then what's your favorite emoji? Probably the weird little face I've started making where it's like swirly, parentheses, like just weird little like smiley face that I just randomly made, and now I can't stop using it. And you guys have seen it everywhere if you look at my Twitter anytime. My favorite breed of cat? That would definitely be Norwegian forest cat with Maine Coon on top, actually. Maine Coon, then Norwegian forest cat, and then probably ragdolls, even though I'm not into very purebred cats. I'm not really behind that because so many breeds have issues. I prefer just like, you know, go to a shelter and adopt a cat, any cat, the random cat that you're gonna find there, and whatever breed mix it may be. But I do have a hugely soft spot for Maine Coons and Norwegian forest cats, so they would be at the top of the list. And then, do you have a favorite veggie? If so, what? I really love vegetables. I do like vegetables. I love canned green beans because they're kind of soft. I love canned green beans. I love sugar snap peas after they've been stir fried. That's like one of my all-time favorite things. Stir fried sugar snap peas are so good. Let's see. I love mushrooms, but that's a fungi, not like actually a vegetable. What else do I love? Let's go ahead. Come on, you can sell, you can do a little guy. You've got 4 beautiful flowers. Come on, people, buy this guy. And then I can manage to get my new water. So I try to eat some vegetables. I love lettuce, as long as it doesn't have bugs in it. I have a thing against like buggy lettuce, because you eat the lettuce and you think you're eating something crunchy and it's yummy lettuce, and you might find a bug in it, and it just makes me feel like a little faint every time I think about that. So I don't like buggy lettuce. So I have a hard time eating lettuce because I like have to turn each individual leaf over so carefully to make sure it doesn't have anything hiding on it. I actually really do love tomatoes, especially cherry tomatoes, but especially heirloom pear tomatoes. The yellow pear tomatoes are my favorite because they're not tart, they're sweet, and so they're one of my favorites too. But yeah, I think I like a lot of vegetables, but I want to expand my vegetable palette, after we move. That's actually another thing I want to work on with those vlogs. Once again, the vlogs help encourage me to try new things, and I want to try to make sure I try like new healthy vegan recipes, and I'm eating salads more often, and it's more fun when you can share those kinds of adventures with somebody. So there's that for vegetables. And if you woke up once and your channel was gone, how would you react and what would you do? I would immediately call YouTube and I would be furious. They help me earn money, I help them earn money, we're going to work together to solve this. But it would dramatically ruin my life. No joke. If my channel and all of its videos disappeared, my job is gone, my income is gone, we're not able to pay our rent anymore, I'm not able to pay my bills anymore, I'm not able to send money to my family so they can afford their medication and their rent. It would have a ripple effect that would destroy multiple lives. So it would be horrible! And that's why I try to like triple, zapple, security guard this thing and protect it, because it would literally destroy my life if I lost my channel and if I lost the work that I've done and if I stopped doing this work, which I like you guys heard in a few rambling episodes ago, I don't plan on it. I plan on being around for years to come and sharing my growth and the adventures with you guys. So, whee! Yeah, happy Pumtato, don't worry. I don't plan on this channel going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said a few episodes ago, I want to get to 10,000 YouTube videos, and I'm only at almost 4,000 now. So that's so many adventures to go, and it's going to be amazing. And I plan on growing and changing with the channel, and the channel growing and changing with me. And I try really hard to protect it, and I'm hoping that YouTube will help me protect it as well. I'm just a baby YouTuber in their eyes. Not a teensy tiny baby YouTuber, but I'm still a baby YouTuber. I may earn them a little bit of money because they get to keep 40% of everything that like my channel as a whole earns. YouTube keeps 40% of it because they host it and they get you the adverts and stuff like that. So I do earn them a chunk, so hopefully they're invested in keeping me around and helping me protect it. And I promise you guys that I really do try hard to protect this place and work hard to grow it, because I care about it and I care about you guys and I care about this unique, weird online world community village that we have built that can go with you and it can go with me absolutely anywhere. And I don't know why people won't buy my little plant. It's so pretty. Ah! There's bugs. Get off my plant. Get away, bugs. All right, and it looks like we won't be able, unfortunately, to get that wonderful new filtered water that I was holding out for this time, but hopefully we'll have it next time, and I will answer more of you guys' amazing questions. I feel like I just ramble in the weirdest, most random ways every time I do these videos, but I've decided to stop worrying about it. You never ever know what your question will unlock. Did you guys know I was going to talk about Minecraft mods and my desire to pet goats because someone asked me if I've ever tried a sugar beet? Probably not. So go ahead, ask any questions that you would like. Make sure they're reasonable at least, and like not too weird. Please, please, please. We have children on this channel. And I'll answer them, and you don't know what kind of answers you may get from them. So I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.